Welcome to Speak Easy podcast, where you learn English the way it's actually spoken. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Speak Easy podcast, your favorite space for practical, real-world English. I'm Mira.
And I'm Arjun. Great to have you with us today, whether you're commuting to work, preparing your morning coffee, or taking a quick break from your studies.
Today, we're tackling the big one, the question we see in our inbox every single day. How do I speak English fluently?
Fluency. It's that ultimate dream where you open your mouth and English just flows out effortlessly, without your brain freezing or constantly translating from your native language.
Exactly. And for adult learners, working professionals, and students, achieving this can feel like an uphill battle. But it doesn't have to be that hard. Today, we're going to break down what fluency actually means, share 7 practical strategies, listen to a mini role play, give you a 15-minute daily challenge, and review some incredible phrases you can use right away.
Let's start by redefining the word fluency, Mira, because I think a lot of people have a completely wrong idea about it. They think being fluent means speaking like a movie star or never making a grammar mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Let's bust that myth right now. Fluency does not mean perfection. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes, stumble over words, or forget what they were saying mid-sentence.
That is so true. I do it in my native language all the time. True fluency is about communication, clarity, and confidence. It means you can express your thoughts clearly so that the other person understands you, without huge, awkward pauses that break the flow.
Yes, it's about natural speaking. If you use the wrong tense, but the person you're talking to still gets your point and the conversation keeps moving, congratulations, you are fluent in that moment. Don't let the fear of a perfect accent paralyze you.
All right, let's get into the actionable stuff. How do we actually build this fluid communication? We've put together our top 7 strategies.
Strategy number 1. Think in English. Most learners translate from their native language to English in their head before speaking. This creates a massive delay. To break this habit, start small. Look around your room and name objects in English. Then, start describing your day to yourself. I need to make coffee. Where are my keys? Oh, it's raining. Train your brain to skip the translation step.
Strategy number 2 is to speak every day. You cannot learn to swim by reading a book about swimming. You have to get in the water. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, speak aloud every single day. Talk to your pet, your mirror, or yourself while cooking.
Strategy number 3. Learn phrases instead of individual words. Instead of just memorizing the word decision, learn the phrase to make a decision, or I'm having a hard time making a decision. When you learn blocks of language, your brain doesn't have to work as hard to construct sentences on the spot.
Strategy number 4. Improve your listening skills. Speaking and listening are 2 sides of the same coin. The better you understand different accents and natural speeds, the more comfortable you will feel jumping into a conversation.
Strategy number 5. Use shadowing techniques. This is a fantastic method where you listen to a fluent speaker, like us on this podcast, and you repeat what they say almost immediately after them, mimicking their rhythm, pauses, and intonation. It builds muscle memory in your jaw.
Strategy number 6. Record yourself speaking. I know. Everyone hates the sound of their own recorded voice, but it is an incredibly powerful tool. Record yourself answering a prompt for 2 minutes. Listen back and notice where you hesitate or where you run out of words.
And finally, strategy number 7. Focus on communication, not perfection. We'll keep saying this until it sticks. Your goal is to connect with another human being, not to pass a rigid grammar exam.
Let's look at how these strategies play out in real life. Think about a workplace meeting. If a manager asks for your opinion, a fluent speaker doesn't wait until they have a flawless sentence ready. They dive in and use transition phrases to organize their thoughts on the fly.
Or consider a job interview. The interviewer isn't just grading your vocabulary. They are looking at your confidence and how you handle difficult questions. Being articulate isn't about using big, poetic words. It's about structuring your answer clearly.
What about traveling abroad or making friends at networking events? When you're trying to build a connection, people don't care if you miss a preposition. They care about your perspective, your warmth, and your willingness to engage.
Exactly. Whether it's giving a major presentation, public speaking, or just chatting by the office coffee machine, Fluency is the bridge that lets people see your true professional capability.
To show you what we mean, let's do a quick role play. Mira and I are going to act out a situation where a colleague asks for my opinion on a new project timeline. First, let's see how a hesitant, overthinking speaker handles it.
So, Arjun, what do you think about the new marketing proposal? Do you think we should launch it next month?
I think the proposal is good, but, next month is very fast because the team has many tasks. Yes.
Okay, time out. Let's analyze that. Arjun's grammar wasn't actually wrong, but the massive pauses made the interaction feel strained, and he couldn't fully express his thoughts because he was trying too hard to find the perfect words. Now, let's look at the exact same conversation, but this time, Arjun is going to use natural phrases, filler words to buy time, and focus entirely on communication. So, Arjun, what do you think about the new marketing proposal? Do you think we should launch it next month?
To be honest, Mira, that's a good point. But let me think for a moment. From my perspective, the proposal itself is excellent. However, next month might be a bit tight because the team is already juggling a few major deadlines. It depends on the situation, but I think delaying it by 2 weeks would give us a much better result.
Wow, what a difference. Notice how Arjun didn't use incredibly complex grammar, but he used standard expressions to give his brain a second to organize the rest of the sentence. It felt natural, professional, and confident.
All right, listeners, no excuses now. We are giving you a 15-minute daily fluency challenge. You don't need hours of free time, you just need 15 minutes of dedicated practice. Here is your daily routine breakdown.
Start with minutes 1 to 4 for listening practice. Listen to a short English audio clip, a podcast section, a news report, or a video. Focus on how words are connected and where the speaker places emphasis.
Then, move to minutes 5 to 8 for shadowing practice. Take that same audio clip, rewind it, and shadow the speaker. Repeat their words aloud immediately after them to build rhythm.
Next, minutes 9 to 12 are for your self-recording exercise. Pick a simple prompt like, "What are my goals for tomorrow?" Open the voice recorder app on your phone and speak without stopping for 2 full minutes.
Finally, minutes 13 to 15 are for vocabulary review. Review a few phrases or expressions from your notes and try to create 2 unique spoken sentences for each one. Just 15 minutes a day will completely transform your English.
As we start to wind down today's episode, let's talk about the psychological side of learning. Fear of making mistakes is the biggest barrier keeping people from fluency. People worry about looking foolish or being judged.
But here's a comforting truth. Most people are not judging you. In fact, when people hear you speaking a second language, they are usually impressed by your effort. Building confidence comes from accepting that mistakes are part of the process.
Absolutely. Be patient with yourself. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It is built brick by brick, day by day. Set realistic expectations and focus on staying consistent.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's dive into our special segment for today. 10 powerful words and expressions from today's episode. We want to make sure you can use these smoothly in your next conversation.
Let's start with our first word, fluent. It means being able to express oneself easily and articulately. For example, she practiced every day until she became fluent in English. A practical usage tip here is to remember that being fluent is a spectrum. You don't have to know every word in the dictionary to be considered fluent.
That brings us to our second word, hesitate, which means to pause before saying or doing something, usually due to uncertainty. For example, don't hesitate to ask questions during the presentation. My tip for this is to use filler phrases when you hesitate, so the pause feels natural rather than awkward.
Exactly. And when you overcome that, you feel confident. Our third word. It means feeling certain about your abilities. An example is, he felt confident during his job interview. Tip: even if you don't feel confident inside, standing up straight and smiling can make you sound more confident to others.
Fake it till you make it. Our fourth word is articulate, which means able to speak fluently and coherently. For instance, she gave a very articulate explanation of the project. A great tip is to slow down your speaking speed to instantly sound more articulate.
Word number 5 is consistency, which means doing something regularly. For example, consistency is the key to mastering a new language. My tip is to pick a specific time every day for English practice, which makes consistency much easier to maintain.
Next up is communicate, word number 6, meaning to share or exchange information and ideas. For example, technology makes it easier to communicate with global teams. Tip: remember that body language and tone are just as important when you communicate as the actual words you choose.
Word number 7 is perspective, meaning a particular attitude or point of view. An example sentence is, traveling gives you a completely different perspective on life. A quick tip: use this word when you want to gently introduce an alternative idea in a workplace meeting.
I love that word. Our 8th word is feedback, which means information about a person's performance used as a basis for improvement. For example, constructive feedback helped him improve his public speaking. Note that feedback is uncountable, so avoid saying feedbacks. Just say some feedback or valuable feedback.
Word number 9 is improvement, which means the instance of making something better. For instance, we noticed a massive improvement in her writing skills. Tip: track your progress monthly to visually see your improvement.
And our 10th word is networking, which means interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional contacts. For example, attending business conferences is excellent for professional networking. My tip is to prepare 2 or 3 open-ended questions before going to a networking event to break the ice easily.
Those are 10 fantastic words. Now, let's naturally look at the 10 expressions we used during our conversation today, because they are absolute game changers for conversational flow.
The first two are great for sharing opinions. As far as I'm concerned, and from my perspective, I could say, as far as I'm concerned, today's episode is full of gold. Or, from my perspective, daily practice is non-negotiable. They sound much more professional than just saying, I think, over and over again.
I completely agree, Arjun. And see what I did there? I completely agree is our third expression, which is a strong, warm way to show total alignment with someone in a conversation or meeting.
It really is. And if someone shares a point you like, you can say, that's a good point. It validates their idea and gives you a second to think about what you want to add next.
Now, if you need a moment to organize your thoughts, instead of saying, use our fifth expression. Let me think for a moment. It sounds completely natural and keeps the listener waiting comfortably.
To be honest, Mira, that is my favorite tip. And to be honest is our sixth expression. We use it to introduce a candid or direct opinion.
It really works. But what if a question doesn't have a simple yes or no answer? That's when you use expression number 7. It depends on the situation. It's the perfect way to show that a topic is nuanced.
Definitely. Now, if you feel like you didn't explain something clearly, you can use expression number 8. In other words, and then restate your point simply. It helps clear up any confusion immediately.
On the flip side, if the other person is speaking and you need more details, you can ask, could you elaborate on that? That's expression number 9, and it's incredibly polite and professional.
And finally, expression number 10. I'm not sure I follow. Use this when you are genuinely confused about the direction of the conversation. It's much better than just nodding along blindly and guessing what they mean.
That brings us to the end of our special segment and the conclusion of today's episode. To recap, fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being clear, confident, and focusing on communication.
Use the strategies we discussed, take on the 15-minute daily fluency challenge, and start incorporating these new words and expressions into your daily conversations. Consistency is your best friend on this journey.
Don't let hesitation hold you back. Your voice matters, your ideas matter, and you have a unique perspective to share with the world. Don't hide it behind the fear of making a small mistake.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fluent You podcast today. Go out there, practice daily, make mistakes proudly, and keep talking.
Until next time, happy learning, everyone. Bye-bye.
Catch you in the next episode.